Good afternoon to everyone on YouTube and everyone that is viewing this video. There is one thing that I would like to discuss, and this is something that I recently heard. I know in previous weeks, I'll say a few weeks ago, I recently heard something about Beyonce writing a script, or she was supposed to be writing out something, and she was supposed to be starring in a movie that has something to do with Sarah Baartman. But then I recently heard a couple days ago that she was not supposed to be starring in this due to all the backlash that she was getting from people on Twitter. So, and I even read some of the things that people said about her, and a lot of people was just feeling some type of way about that. Well, this is my whole ordeal about this whole situation. Because, for one, to be 100% honest, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, but I think there was a lot of people that did not know much about Sarah Baartman. And I was one of those people that didn't know too much about her. So then when I learned a lot about her, then the first thing that went to my mind was, okay, this is not going to work. And the reason why I feel, in my own opinion, even if she wanted to play it, because we really don't know for sure what the whole situation, was about, because there were so many different speculations. Some people saying she was going to play it, some people were saying that she wasn't going to play it. But the thing that really shocked me was how some of the people in the African areas, they were basically saying that Beyonce was disrespecting their culture, and that she had no right trying to take on that role. And there were a lot of harsh things that were said by not only them, but by a lot of the fans. So then, I just feel like once I learned a lot more about her, I basically felt the same way they did. But at the same time, I do feel that some of the things that people were saying about her was kind of harsh, because nobody really knew what was going on. They were just going off of what they heard, so they were just basically just attacking her. I feel that was one area that was kind of, a little terrifying. And this is just one thing that people give Beyonce way too much credit for. It's like if Beyonce was to break a hill, people would think that would be so amazing. If she was to climb a tree, people would think that would be amazing. If she was to literally get on a yacht and do a backflip off of the yacht into the water, I feel that people would literally take that and run with it and literally call her the queen of doing backflips, even though there's many other people that can do backflips. And I just feel that people just, it's like I feel people go too far with these labels on putting people on a pedestal, literally calling her the queen of every single thing. And I just don't feel like people need to go that far with stuff. It just doesn't make any sense to me. The main reason why I feel that she wouldn't be the right person to play that role is because in me personally, I don't really think that she would really know enough about that situation to play her. And furthermore, she doesn't really have the body proportion of her, and I just don't think that would really be the right choice. And plus, Beyonce, she's not. I mean, I'm not going to discredit anyone or say what they can and can't do, because anyone could do anything that they can put their mind to. but just based off of what I've seen in her work as far as her acting resume, I don't really look at her as really an actress in a way, because she's not really one of those uh, top of the list, top of actresses that could win like an Academy Award or a Golden Globe Award or something. Like, she's not one of those type of actresses, and I just don't really see her really taking it up to par and actually doing that. And I feel in order to play a role like that, I feel that she would literally have to be pretty much as good as Halle Berry and Angela Bassett put together in order to play a role like that. So that's just my whole situation on that. But like I said, I'm not going to bash Beyonce, because I do think she's a beautiful woman, and I do think she's a great. I do think that she's a good performer, and she is talented in music. Even though I'm not really a fan of her music, but I do think she's talented. But that's just my opinion, and yeah, so it was just a lot of things that was going through my mind. And another thing that I want to add also is when I heard the story about Sarah Baartman, I was very, very surprised. I was shocked. And I was at a loss of words. Like, I really didn't know what to say. Considering the era that she grew up in, where a lot of blacks were treated so unfairly, it just really shocked me that women were looked at in that kind of way and literally treated like freaking animals in a zoo. Like, there was literally, like, they literally put them in zoos in Europe, and they really used them as this artificial freak show. And I heard that this woman, Sarah Baartman, I heard that she had died from a lot of diseases or something like that, because a lot of men slept with her and they pretty much used her. And I just thought the whole story was sad, and it just, learning that history is crazy. And one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is there was this one person that said, well, it amazes me how certain black people don't know their history. But see, people can't really always look at it that way, because all throughout school I learned all kind of history about what had happened back in the older days. But at the same time, the history books only teach you what they want you to know, and they're not really going to tell you every single thing that happens. And plus, I haven't heard that even now they're not even teaching the history that they're even supposed to teach in school, and a lot of kids are not even learning what they're really supposed to learn. There's things that I heard about that too. Oh, and one more thing that I also want to add is some people were feeling that Beyonce, there were some people that felt like, well, just because Beyonce is, they said something about just because she's a black woman, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's not black enough to play a certain role. But in my opinion, I feel that, like, honestly, I don't care how much African ancestry that Beyonce has in her. Just because she's black, that doesn't really give anyone the right to take on any kind of role to play. But that's just my whole opinion on everything. Because there's black Americans that live in the United States that don't even have African ancestry. Just because you're black, that doesn't mean you come from Africa. So regardless what Beyonce has in her, I just don't think that she's the right choice. That's if she even wanted to take on that role. That's just my opinion. You literally have people out here like Nicki Minaj, for example, and Kim Kardashian and all these other women that literally walk around here with these big, large, gigantic butts. And people literally sit there and praise them for it. But yet, people don't even have any idea on how far we have come as people and how far we have come from history and the things that used to happen to people that literally had the same thing that you have, and people sit here and they turn around and praise these things. And then when one wrong thing is said about them, the first thing people want to do is jump down your throat, having no idea what other people had to go through to even pave a way for you to stand on your own 2 feet. And not to mention, if I haven't mistaken, I could have sworn that they had a Sarah Baartman cake where you could literally take a fork and you could cut into the cake and you could eat the cake, literally made out of Sarah Baartman. I feel people absolutely have no respect whatsoever.